SuperLap Scotland returns to Knockhill Racing Circuit for 2025, and it's the first time we've seen the SuperLap guys and girls out on track, and it's so great to see them as we roll into another bumper season at Knockhill. And just look at the weather that has arrived for our competitors for round number one. Qualifying starts at Knockhill as we see the Ian Bonthorne BMW sitting there poised, ready to go. Yes, a road car that Bonthorne competes in, almost his daily driver when he's not in one of the Bonthorne security vans as he tears about the country. But as we come out on the track, qualifying is equally important as it is the final, because they pick points up for qualifying and points for the final position. Qualifying is important in an actual race, but it's also important for SuperLap for gaining those points. Martin Hutton out in his trusty little Peugeot 106 that always seems to be trouble-free running for Martin, and that's good to see. We've also got Gary Muir in his Audi TT, a brand new competitor to SuperLap Scotland. We also saw flashing through Stuart Thompson, another new competitor. But Davy Capstick, well, he was fastest in a shared car in Class F. Capstick was out there in the Andrew Fahey car, and it was great to see Fahey giving Capstick that shot off the Audi, or the Renault, sorry. Unfortunately though, Capstick did manage to go just that little bit quicker with a 102.548. Alex Milne, as we see bouncing through shot there. Always fab to see Alex on shot. Carl Walker has changed car this year. For anybody who knows Carl, he's used to have been in a Renault Clio for so long, as Rab Jobson uses just a little bit too much of the track through the chicane. But Carl's got a lovely Renault Megane. Fastest in E-Class, Jobson, 58.171. Defending, reigning champion, all hail the king. It's Rab Jobson making his way around in the Racing Awareness Scotland Audi, and Rab only knows one way as he's going round, and it's absolutely flat. 58.171 for Rab Jobson, even if he was using a little bit more of the track than he possibly should at the chicane. But the car that was shared by Andrew Fahey and Davy Capstick, it was trusty and it did run, it did stay on track, unlike Davy Capstick's Renault Clio, which was a last minute thing to get the car ready for round one SuperLap Scotland, and then it failed on him as Bonthorne lights up the rear of the BMW to be fastest in D-Class with a 56.387 second lap. Ian Bonthorne second overall in D-Class, not the fastest, but I think he was just enjoying burning out those tyres, those expensive tyres, on the back of his M3 and sliding out the hairpin. There's Stuart Thompson, a man who was double dutying over the course of the weekend, because you'll see him in our Mod Sports programme as well. He'll feature in that. And Stuart, with a baptism of fire, his first ever event doing Mod Sports and SuperLap Scotland. Great to see that happening. And this car here, Mark Dawson, the RSR Escort Mark 1, 2-litre turbocharged car. Just an absolute stunning piece of kit when you see it close up. And Mark, who normally races in the modified Ford series or a little bit of Mod Sports, deciding SLS was a great way for him to bed himself into the season, because the track time is second to none. The amount of time that he gets on track to do things to the car, to check the car and do overall push fast laps, Dawson thought it was a winner. 55.531, fastest in qualifying, fastest in the Pro class. Mark Dawson was on form. The overall qualifying results, we see Mark Dawson fastest from Ian Bonthorne, Rab Jobson king of the hill in third place, ahead of Stuart Thompson, David Capstick, Alex Milne, Carl Walker in his new car in 7th, ahead of road class car Gary Muir, Andrew Fahey and Martin Hutton in 10th. As we line the cars up in the holding area for the final, we got a glimpse of Michael Imrie, a former SuperLap Scotland man, in the holding area with a gang of drivers around him. Michael, who was a SuperLap driver, moved into Mod Sports with some great success. But it was all about Martin Hutton in F-Class first of all. A 107.606 from Martin Hutton in F-Class put him third overall, in the standings. Hutton with a little bit of debris in the front of the car, just hanging off as he went in through Clark Corner. Underneath the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, Andrew Fahey, 104.159 for the ever-smiling Andrew Fahey in his Racing Awareness Renault Megane. The Racing Awareness Scotland team headlined by Alex Milne, and loyal and faithful to SuperLap Scotland. We then have Gary Muir, E-Class Gary Muir, a 103.3. Car number 87, Gary Muir in his Audi TT, 102.884 for Gary Muir. Road car, so much so that he had a slight problem during the day. Jumped in the road car, drove home, picked a bit up from the garage, drove back to circuit and competed, and then drove home at night. That's a successful SuperLap. Davy Capstick, fastest in F-Class, 102.756 in a car that he borrowed from his teammate Andrew Fye. That is some love inside that team, but Capstick had to get used to the new car, had to dial himself in because the Megane slightly larger than his small Clio, but Capstick liking his run out in the Megane and fastest in F-Class. You moved hell and high water to be here for a start, and then the new engine that you put in seized up earlier on today.
Yeah, morning warm-up session.
Are you alright?
Car was running great, to be fair. Times were starting to come down, starting to press, and all of a sudden, lack of power. By the time I come up through the chicane, we could start to hear a bit of knock, and by the time I got to the pits, it was seized and no more.
So your teammate steps in, lets you share a car, and you actually just managed to go and pip him for the class honours?
Yes, a little bit of a kind of tricky one. It was like, do I go for it, do I not? But at the end of the day, I do want to try and get my name on the Class F trophy for a second time, so I've got to go for it.
Congratulations to Dave Capstick there as we move into Class E, and here is Racing Awareness Scotland figurehead himself. Sir Alex Milne is how it should be known. A 103.368 for Alex, third in Class E in his number 5 Renault Megane as he makes his way through the chicane and up towards Clark Corner. Second though in Class E was Stuart Thompson, and we'll see Stuart in the Seat Cupra here coming through Duffy's Dip. 102.059 for a man in his first ever event at SuperLap, his first ever mod sport, first time ever competing to say the least, and just getting used to it as he makes his way up towards the checker flag. His novice cross came off the back of the car. And here is the man who won Class E, the defending reigning champion, the king of the hill, Rab Jobson. Look at that beautiful drift through McIntyre's. 58.875 for Rab Jobson as he bounces over the apex curb at Clark's and keeps it nice and neat in towards that hairpin at Knockhill. Stays away from the quick drive from a previous Legends engine failure, and Rab up towards the line, fastest in Class E. Ian Bonthron, quickest in D class, the only man in D class actually this weekend. But a 56.435, Ian saying he's just going to race the clock and try and see exactly how fast he can get round here, and that's what he did. But he also managed to do it without breaking any track limits, which Ian has had a slap on the wrist for in the past. But Bonthron, a man who gives us some great slides out to the hairpin, but when he's when he's up against the pressure, he really tries to make his laps nice and clean. But then if he's got anybody in the crowd watching, Bonthron does like to light up those rear tyres. Checker flag from Bonthron, 56.435. Takes the Class D honours in your trusty BMW M3. The road car which you drive here, you compete in, and you put some fabulous lap times down this weekend. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah, it's nice to be able to drive here in comfort and have some nice laps and drive home again, as long as you don't crash it. So that's what it's all about.
What do you like about the whole SuperLap paddock? Because there was a bit of drama with your teammate Martin Hutton, and everybody seemed to want to be involved.
That's right. If you've got any issues, it seems to be that the guys in the paddock will do anything they can to help you, or lend you a car, give you a lift to the mechanic, whatever you need to do. That's what's good about SLS. It's all like-minded people just out having a bit of a laugh. But ideally you want some competition along the way, so if you're watching, come and join SLS.
And our final run was Mark Dawson, fastest time of the day as well, 54.942 for this seasoned professional veteran. I've got to say that I'm not wanting to make Mark sound old, but really this man has been racing for a long time. A very, very sophisticated driver when he gets on track. Never really puts a foot wrong, but always brings the pace when he's out there on track. And the RSR Escort Mark 1 is a stunning bit of kit when you see it close up. And Mark using SuperLap to try and maximise his seat time in the car before he heads away. A little puff of smoke from the back right arch here as the car suspension works overtime as he goes through Hislops, but out of the hairpin. Mark only had to get up towards the finish line, and the bonus of running in Pro Class as well, you get 2 warm-up laps on those slick tyres. Congratulations. What was the lap like for you out there? Bearing in mind you get 2 warm-up laps with the Pro Class on slicks.
Yeah, no, that really helps, to be honest. Dunk gives you good grip on that, well, let's call it that flying hot lap. Just gives you that bit of confidence to go into that lap. And yeah, the weather definitely helped get the tyres up to temp quickly. So yeah, it's been a good day.
Yeah, a good day for you in the car. It's a stunning car, it really is. Well, will we see you back doing a little bit more SuperLap? Because I know the modified Fords is your main championship.
Yeah, no, definitely. SuperLap's been great for me. Good seat time in the car, allows me to experiment with setups and just get myself used to this car. So yeah, definitely back for more SuperLap, Scotland.
Mark Dawson, fastest on the day and wins the Pro class from Ian Bonthrone, wins D, sits second overall. Rav Jobson in the Audi S3 wins E class and comes home in third overall. Stuart Thompson with his first ever Super Lap, well, he manages to get fourth overall with Davy Capstick, Gary Muir, Alex Milne, Andrew Fahey and Martin Hutton, who battled all sorts of issues, comes home ninth overall.
That brings SLS to an end here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. Fabulous track time for the guys in some glorious weather. Keep your eyes tuned to Knockhill's main website, knockhill.com, for all the updates for SuperLap Scotland. They're back here in May, so don't miss out. Check it out.